I can see her lying back in her satin dress, in a room where you do what you don't confess. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Sundown, you better take care.
Happy Homebrew Wednesday. And today, well, it's Tuesday, so I'm gonna get this out early. Today, I'm actually gonna be drinking a homebrew. This homebrew is a beer mail that came from Mr. Ryan Rashawn out in the West. I sent him a beer mail a while back, and he turned one around. Wasn't certainly asked for, but he did, and I very much appreciate it. He sent me some really cool stuff. This one here, and I'm going to review all of them because I know they're going to be good. This one here is his coconut IPA, R&R. I don't know if that's Ryan Rashawn or Rest and Recuperation R&R. But anyway, I am going to crack this and get into it, and then we got some stuff. We got some stuff to talk about. I know this is going to be a beautiful beer. Look at that. Wow. I don't know what the ABV on this thing is, but you know, everyone oh, I can smell it from here though. Holy crap. This thing is beautiful. It's brilliantly clear. It's got some chill haze, but I can tell that it's just chill haze. I got these things early this morning, and man, look at that. Look at the bubbles just streaming up on that thing. Can you see it? Yeah, there you go. Beautiful head. It's not going anywhere. It's a very pillowy head, white pillowy head, creamy, and then medium pack bubbles, tight and medium pack bubbles. Beautiful beer, and I know the aroma is big. Let me get the aroma. Let me just get into this. Oh man, this smells freaking awesome. So this is, I would use the SJ description that this is a this is a IPA that has some coconut character rather than like coconut with some beer mixed in, which is awesome, and it mixed perfectly. I can tell beneath the coconut there's like this classic IPA nice backbone, and then you throw the coconut in there and it just mixes with the existing kind of IPA aroma, the hops, and just mixes, and it's very smooth, very well blended aroma. It's exactly like I've been wanting to do it. I've been wanting to do a coconut IPA ever since I saw the coconut IPA from Harry Brew, and Harry Brew as his buddy. Can't think of his name, but I've been wanting to do one, and then I think I got one from Josh Hoover a while back, not that long ago, and now this one here just even. Oh man, it smells really, really good. Okay, cheers, Ryan. Thank you so much for the beer mail. Man, I've got a lot of good stuff to dig into too. And the cool thing is he sent me 2 of some of these things, so including this one. Cheers. That is a damn good IPA. Holy moly. Oh, so what I was going to say was I can't tell what the ABV is, but looking at the bubbles going up, I would just guess, I'm going to say 6.5. That's the Mike Dean. Okay, so if you don't want to have to, use a hydrometer and you want to figure out what your ABV is, I've got a method for you. If it's an IPA or something clear. Pour it in, and then look at the speed of the bubbles going up. This one is a little faster than, I normally drink like 7.5 to 8%, beers, and I notice the slow rise. This one, I would put it around 6.5 to 7 because the bubbles are a little bit faster than what I normally see. Then if they're really, really moving fast, then you start getting into like session beers, right? So that's, I should publish that. That's going to be, you have all the different, methods of calculating ABV. This is the, Mike Dean version. Mike Dean method is the bubble rise count. I used to do that with scuba diving. You're not supposed to rise or ascent faster than your is it faster than your slowest bubble? You're not supposed to go and rise faster than your fastest bubble going up, I think. So as long as you're kind of staying same speed with your bubbles, you're not going to get the bends. And you do a decompression, you don't stay down too long. But anyway, all right, man, this is great. So here's all the things I like about this beer. Carbonation is perfect. The brewmanship of this thing is perfect. The hop presence is still pretty strong, so I'm not sure when he bottled this stuff, but it's still pretty strong. And I get the coconut blended in. So the aroma is awesome. The dryness of this beer, it's got a good, it's got that great hop bitterness all the way through. It's not harsh. It's a nice, even, smooth bittering. The malt in the beer is just enough to let you know it's there. It's you know, I assume this is a West Coast style because it tastes very West Coast to me. God, and I love these days when you pop an IPA and you don't get this like milky thing. But anyway, yeah, Ryan, this is freaking awesome. This is exactly what I want to do in a coconut IPA. Damn, that's a good beer. God, I can't wait for the rest of these. I got another beer mail in today from Mr. Brian Cricker, but I'm going to talk about that on another day when I review some of those beers, probably later in the week. So what do I got to talk about today? So I did a thing. I did a brew day on Saturday. It was a, man, this, first of all, so much stuff has happened this week. So I did a brew day. I'll show some video of it, but it was a Maibach, Hellesbach, whatever you want to call it. It was mostly, actually it was about 9.5 pounds of Pilsen malt. Let me see if I can get this right. 1.5 pounds of Bodlander Munich and 2 pounds of Gold Pils Vienna. I love using Gold Pils Vienna because Gold Pils Vienna has this like graham crackery kind of quality to it. Let me pour the rest of it. I didn't realize I didn't pour it all in here. It has this graham crackery kind of quality to it that I really dig. And using that in a Hellesbach, since Hellesbach is, it's like a Munich Helles, but it's like stronger. So that's what I essentially did. I took Mount St. Helens recipe, I kind of amped it up a little bit, threw some kind of, you know, a little more, you know, grain complexity in it. Used the same yeast. I used the, was it 2308, whatever the Munich lager yeast is, the Y yeast. I think it's 2308, I could be wrong. And for hops, I used Tettnang for bittering and Hallertau Mittelfrüh for the flavor and aroma. So only 3 ounces of hops, 2 ounces of the Tettnang, and 1 ounce of the Hallertau. So it's going to be about 20 IBUs, something like that, and 24 IBUs, but maybe a little more. But anyway, it was a good brew day. I think I over crushed the grain. I adjusted I figured out from my grain crusher, I was having issues. The tightening bolts were loosening up, so I used a wrench to tighten them down rather than finger tighten them. Duh. So they look like finger tightening, so I've always been finger tightening and won't get loose. So I tightened them up, but I put them a little bit too narrow, so the grain was a little more crushed than what I had intended. So and when you do that, you can tell when you do it because when you it makes the sparging a little harder, and I never have an issue with sparging, so it was a little thicker. It was hard for the fluid to get through. And then I think that when the the grain bed settled, you can tell when you crush it a little too much because you get this little cake. It shrinks inside rather than going across the whole circumference. Good word, circumference of the mash tun. It kind of shrinks a little bit, and then you see this little white cake. It looks like a white cake is sitting inside with some grain sprinkled on it, and then you have little channels around the backside. Well, that to me means that it's real thick and compact, and maybe the water doesn't rinse it down as much as if it was a normal grain bed. So I got to make sure I don't do that next time. And what happened was I ended up missing my points on the pre-boil by like, I think it was 6 or 8, something like that. I was looking for 1068, and I got 1062 or 1061, something like that. So when I boiled, was that right? 10, no, maybe it was supposed to be, I can't remember. Maybe it was supposed to be 1058 and I hit 1052, whatever the numbers, I missed it by about 8. So I used the calculator on Beersmith and put in about, I don't know, 1.2 something pounds of DME, and then I got to where I wanted to be. So by the time I finished boiling, I wanted to be at 1071, I was at 1072, so I'll call that a win. The beer came out, looked really nice. I've used DME before. I have no issues with that. Being an all-grain brewer, if I have to use some DME to adjust, I don't lose any sleep over that. It always works out well as long as you have the, you look at the volume and what your target gravity is supposed to be, and it worked out great. Did a very violent boil because I wanted to really get a good Maillard reaction and get a darker kind of color, a little bit darker color than just a regular light color on the Hellesbach. Damn, that is good. Son, you would win. You probably already have won a contest with this. This is kick-ass. So anyway, was there anything else that went on with that? Yeah, so I used 2 packs of the Munich Lager yeast, those smack packs. Smacked them this time and let them go like for 5 hours, and they were nice and bloated. So I put them in and put it in the refrigerator, and I'll show some video here and some pictures. Happy Homebrew Wednesday. All right, it's brew weekend. Well, brew day on the weekend. Saturday, I'm going to be calling it Chewbacca. Bach being B-O-C-K, all caps. So it's a Hellesbach. This will be the kind of the Bach version of my Munich Helles. So I'm cranking up the strength a little bit. Pretty close to the same grist, same hops, same yeast. Just a lot more of the grist. So should be really light, should be a little darker than the normal Munich Helles that I do, but it should be a strong Helles, so I'm really digging that. So the grist is all 9.5 pounds of Pilsen malt, 1.5 pounds of Bonlander Munich, and that's 10 Levabon. I wanted to get something 20, but they didn't have it in my store, and I had to go with what I had. And then 2 pounds of Gold Pils Vienna. I like Gold Pils Vienna because it gives you that kind of graham cracker thing that I like. I think that'll be cool for a Hellesbach. So yeah. So right now I just went from my second step, so I'm up to 145 right now. I'm gonna let that go for about another 15 minutes, and then I'll start pumping it up to 154 where I want to end, or 153. I'm having to do it really slow. It's a really slow step change time or rise time because I crushed the grain a bit too fine. So having a bit of a pickle getting the fluid. It's going through, and I'm hitting temperature. It just takes a while. So instead of waiting the full time of the step, I'm gonna have to start rising a little bit early so I can hit the target temp by the time I want to. So anyway, that's where we are. I've got my smack packs already packed, smacked and bloating, and it's about a little past 2 in the afternoon. I was supposed to link up with Josh, who's out there on the West Coast, but I was a little slow getting my brew day started. So I'm gonna try to ping him. Hopefully he's not done yet. He probably is. But anyway, cheers. Sorry for the, oh wow, look at that. Hellesbach, baby. Hellesbach. Okay, so I am coming up on the pot break. I guess until I hit, anyway, coming up on the hot break. One thing that happened was I missed my gravity severely, and I think it's because my crush was super fine. I adjusted the rollers, and I had a lot of powder, and I think it packed up and didn't get a full rinse. So I ended up 1051, and I wanted it to be 1056 to 1059. So I added some dry malt extract, and ended up at like 1059 where I wanted to be. So I'm gonna have to adjust that on my grain crusher, but it's good. The good thing is always have a bag of DME. Always have a bag of DME. It certainly helps you out if you miss your gravity for some crazy reason. Okay, so there is the Hellesbach. That's the sample. It is still going. Got A little bit more left, so I'll probably get about 5.5 gallons, which that's good. And my target OG was 1071. I got 1072, but I had to use some DME. So all's well that ends well. Now I gotta figure out, do I want to put a blow-off tube on this thing to keep a mess from happening in my fridge? And there is Chewbacca, a Hellesbach. Should be good. And here is day, what is this, Saturday, Sunday, Monday? Yeah, day 2 of fermentation for the lager, for the Hellesbach or the Maibach, whatever you want to call it. The I got a nice Krausen on there now with the little brown spots on it and everything, so everything's looking fine. So I'll let that go, do the 3-week brewlosophy method, and then hopefully 3 weeks from now I'll have a nice Maibach, and I should have. That might be around the same time that I'll be kegging the Brett Pale as well. So that'll be really cool. So I'll have a Brett Pale, I'll have a Maibach, and then I already have a, I have a, what's the other beer I have? I have a Belgian Blonde. Oh, that's the other thing. The Belgian Blonde. Have I talked about the Belgian Blonde? The Belgian Blonde I'm calling NATO Juice. Maybe I did. Maybe I think I showed that last week. It is drinking awesome right now. It's like, it's cleared up. Because I put some gelatin in it. It smells great, tastes great. My wife likes it, and she's normally like a 10%er. Anything 10% with bourbon, she's like, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. She likes it. As a matter of fact, I had a little bit too much the other day. But she's digging it, and so all's good. So the other news is the pool opened up, and I got my Peloton delivered on Friday. Now, I promise I'm not going to be one of those guys that just goes all crazy about working out on, but the last time I felt like this, first of all, just full stop, the Peloton has been like a life changer. I've had it this is my 4th day. I've already put like 70 miles on it or something crazy. I've been doing like multiple workouts a day, and then cool down workouts, and then intensity workouts, and hill workouts, and endurance workouts, and cool down workouts. And, it's just, it's fun. It's really fun. You guys know my story. I have several scars in my neck, or I've had multiple fusions, and I've got like 12 screws. Some of you guys have seen the x-rays. So, don't have the capabilities that I used to in terms of working out. Like in 2012, I ran a marathon. I decided that year I was fat, so I ran 1,000 miles that year, like 25 miles a week, whether I needed it or not. And then I ran my first marathon, and my target was to hit a 9:08 minute pace and hit 4 miles. I was feeling good, and there was a bunch of people crowded around me, so I took off, and like the first 12, 13 miles, I took off at like a little over 8 and change pace, a little too fast. And it's funny because I registered and said, hey, you can follow me on this website on Facebook. If I registered on Facebook, and people were tracking me as I was running. And it's funny, you go back and you watch it later, and everyone's like, oh, dude's gonna burn out, man. He's going out too hard, because I knew that I was going for a 9-minute, 8-second pace. And at one point I was like a 750 or something. I was cruising, feeling good. It was a beautiful day too. Then, down in DC around Hurricane Point, a freaking hurricane came in, and it was the beginning. I forget what the hurricane was that was coming in, but started getting white caps, around the basin, and like wind blowing, and that's when I hit about mile 20, and man, things went downhill fast. I finished looking like a zombie. My face would like seize up, and my arms would like seize up, and I'm looking like a spaz. But I finished at 4:05, so I wasn't that far off. No, the dudes, if you're gonna pace, they run with balloons, right? I know I'm getting off topic, but this is a kind of an exciting deal. They run with 4 hour, and you follow the balloon, stay with him. So I took off in the balloon, broke down eventually, and then here comes this dude with the balloon. He's running, ding, ding, with a little bell, and they passed me up, and I'm like, son of a, So I was only 5 minutes behind him. I still came in at 4:05, and I thought for a first marathon, that was good. Turns out it's my first and only marathon, because now I can't run anymore. So going to the gym was getting kind of boring, and doing stair climbers and all that kind of stuff. So this Peloton comes in. Now I think I know what I like about it. When you do your workout, you look at it and you can see all the different metrics. You can see a little chart, a little bar, a little line graph that shows your workout, right? So when you're doing intervals, you see and you're trying to get your workout as smooth as possible, like, you know, blocks for your different levels. And I mean, I am huge on like metrics-based goals, so it's right in my wheelhousing, and it just feels good. It's fun. The instructors are cool. That you can take live classes, or you can participate in a recorded class. So some of you guys may have a Peloton, and I apologize if I'm boring you, but anyway, you know, drop on. I think if you you know, do a search on Barley, you'll find my username. So anyway, so that was a lot of fun. Then the pool opened, so now I've been biking and swimming. Did some fun brewing. I've got, you know, these awesome beer mails coming in. It has just been a really, really good week. Man, on that note, let me take another sip of this coconut IPA. Damn, that is good. Dude, this is professional. That could be a flagship right here. First flagship beer, with or without the coconut, I think. I mean, it's a great base recipe. You put the coconut in it, and it's just like, it gives it that X factor, right? So anyway, I think I've ranted on enough. 16 minutes. I'll put some brew footage in here and some, if I haven't already. And I think that is it. Upcoming brews. Again, I want to do a, what's the Bock I really want to do? A Doppelbock. I've been wanting to do a Doppelbock for a while, so I think that's going to be my next lager. Remember, this is the year of the lagers. So I might have to do an IPA in the middle there. I don't know. But yeah, so anyway, next Homebrew Wednesday, I think I'll be talking about Brian and his beer meal, because he sent me some really cool stuff. And I'll give you an update on the lager. I should be in my second week of the Brewlosophy, so ramping up to the, you know, 65 degrees or 63 degrees, whatever it is. So anyway, that's all it is for now. Have yourself a happy homebrew. Go work out. Man, I've already lost, can you tell? I've lost like 5 pounds. I feel great. And have a very, very happy Homebrew Wednesday. Cheers. Damn good, Ryan.